Vivien Leigh, born Vivien Mary Hartley on November 5, 1913, rose from a cultured Anglo-Indian upbringing to become one of the most iconic actresses of the 20th century. Her early life, spent between Europe and England, nurtured a love of literature, performance, and the arts. A privileged childhood gave her access to education in France, Italy, and Germany, and her fluency in multiple languages later enhanced her screen presence and grace. Though her time at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art was brief, it gave her the foundation of discipline and craft that would define her career. Her rise from small British film roles to global stardom was swift, and her brilliance would soon leave an indelible mark on cinema and theater alike. A meteoric rise, Scarlett O'Hara, and Hollywood immortality. Vivien Leigh's breakthrough came in 1939 with the role of Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. Despite being a relatively unknown British actress, she was chosen to portray the quintessential American Southern belle, an unconventional choice that sparked controversy. Yet, Leigh silenced critics with a performance of unparalleled intensity and complexity. She transformed Scarlett into a fiercely determined, cunning, and deeply human figure, blending vulnerability with ruthless ambition. The film became a cinematic landmark, and Leigh's portrayal remains one of the most enduring in history. The role earned her the first of 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress, and her career was forever changed. With Gone with the Wind, she became an international sensation, a symbol of both glamour and emotional depth, love and scandal. Meeting Laurence. Olivier Leigh's personal life became as dramatic as her screen roles when she met Laurence Olivier during the filming of Fire Over England in 1937. Both were married to other people at the time, yet their passionate affair quickly became public knowledge. Their relationship captivated the world and scandalized society. Despite their love, divorces were difficult to obtain and heavily stigmatized. They chose to live together, traveling to the United States to escape the harsh judgment of Britain and to advance their careers. Eventually, after years of legal battles and emotional turmoil, both were granted divorces. In 1940, they married in a quiet ceremony in Santa Barbara, California. Their union was celebrated as a theatrical power couple, yet beneath the glamour, the relationship was already strained by the pressures of fame and the intensity of their personalities. The golden age of stage, a powerful creative partnership. As a married couple, Leigh and Olivier became one of the most celebrated duos in theatrical history. Their stage work together set new standards for Shakespearean performance. They appeared in acclaimed productions of Hamlet, Macbeth, Anthony, and Cleopatra, and The School for Scandal. Their partnership was not only romantic but also deeply artistic. Olivier, a commanding stage presence, and Leigh, with her emotional depth and fiery intelligence, complemented each other in ways few actors ever have. Yet while their work garnered praise, their private lives became increasingly strained. Leigh's mental health struggles and Olivier's own emotional distance began to erode the relationship. Their marriage became a constant balancing act between artistic brilliance and personal chaos. A second triumph, Blanche Dubois, and a second Oscar. In 1951, Leigh delivered another unforgettable performance as Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire. Her portrayal of the fragile, delusional Southern belle was hauntingly autobiographical, echoing the inner turmoil she fought in real life. Leigh brought Blanche's desperation, fear, and illusion to life with astonishing clarity. The role showcased her ability to portray psychological complexity with empathy and intensity. It earned her a second Academy Award, cementing her legacy as one of the greatest actresses of all time. The performance revealed the darker side of her talent, a brilliance born from suffering. It was proof that her artistry was not only technical, but deeply emotional, rooted in a lived experience of pain, longing, and instability. A life of stage and screen, triumph amid struggle. Leigh continued to alternate between theater and film, demonstrating rare versatility. On stage, she starred in productions such as Titus Andronicus, The Skin of Our Teeth, and Tovarich, winning a Tony Award in 1963. She also returned to film in Ship of Fools, 1965, earning critical praise in what would become her final movie role. Despite her success, her personal life remained turbulent. Her mood swings, erratic behavior, and deep depression grew more frequent, affecting her relationships and career. She struggled to find stability in an industry that demanded perfection and poise. Yet her resilience was undeniable. She continued to work even while enduring physical illness and mental instability, often masking her pain behind a controlled and dazzling public persona. The hidden battle, bipolar disorder, and its impact. Vivien Leigh's greatest challenge was her struggle with bipolar disorder, then known as manic depression. The illness dominated her adult life and shaped the course of her marriage, career, and relationships. Her mood swings could turn a normal day into an emotional crisis, and her breakdowns were intense and frightening. The disorder also triggered compulsive behaviors, especially in intimacy and desire. During manic phases, she was driven by powerful impulses and often engaged in impulsive and risky sexual encounters. She sometimes sought physical connection indiscriminately, including with strangers. There were also whispers, some confirmed, of romantic relationships with women. Her sexuality seemed fluid, driven by a need to feel alive and escape her inner emptiness. Her behavior was not indulgence but compulsion, a symptom of a mind in crisis. Physical pain and loss, tuberculosis, and miscarriage. Leigh's suffering was not only emotional. In 1943, while volunteering for Allied forces in North Africa during World War II, she contracted tuberculosis. Although she was hospitalized, her treatment was incomplete. Doctors believed she'd recovered by 1944, but the disease lingered and quietly weakened her health for years. In 1945, while filming Caesar and Cleopatra, she slipped on a studio floor and suffered a miscarriage. The loss devastated her and plunged her into deep depression. Her grief became a spiral of insomnia, rage, and despair. She lashed out at cast members, stormed off sets, and became increasingly unstable. Her breakdowns grew more severe and more frequent, eventually requiring sedation and institutional care. The physical pain intensified her mental illness, creating a cycle that became impossible to escape. Institutionalization and electroshock, a dark chapter. As Leigh's condition worsened, Olivier made the decision to have her committed to a mental institution in England. For 3 months, she was confined and subjected to electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, a common but brutal treatment at the time. The procedure left lasting physical and psychological scars. Marks remained on her temples, and her memory and cognitive abilities never fully recovered. Today we recognize the dangers of such treatment, yet in the 1940s it was seen as a last resort. Leigh's confinement reflected the ignorance and fear surrounding mental illness in her era. Her experiences left her more vulnerable and deeply scarred. The treatment did not cure her. It merely masked the symptoms and deepened her sense of isolation and despair. The trauma of the experience would haunt her for the rest of her life. The final years: separation, love, and decline. After more than 2 decades of marriage, the relationship between Leigh and Olivier finally collapsed. Olivier moved on with actress Joan Plowright, later marrying her. Leigh, heartbroken and unstable, found comfort in a passionate relationship with actor Jack Merivale. Though she never remarried, Merivale became a stabilizing presence in her life. Olivier reportedly told him, "Take care of her," suggesting a lingering sense of guilt or responsibility. Leigh's condition could never be cured, only managed with love and patience. In her final years, she continued to struggle with illness and emotional instability, yet she remained a figure of immense beauty, talent, and vulnerability. Her decline was gradual, but the world could still see the brilliance that once lit up the stage and screen. Conclusion: the tragic legacy of Vivien Leigh. Vivien Leigh died on July 7, 1967, collapsing in her room and leaving behind a legacy of unforgettable performances and heartbreaking tragedy. She was cremated at Golders Green Crematorium, and her ashes were scattered in a lake in Sussex. Her life remains a testament to the power of artistry and the devastating impact of untreated mental illness. She achieved unparalleled success in both theater and film, yet her personal life was marked by pain, loss, and instability. Today we remember her not only as Scarlett O'Hara and Blanche Dubois, but as a woman whose genius was inseparable from her suffering. Her story continues to captivate, reminding us that even the brightest stars can burn too fiercely and too briefly.